Hey everybody, today we're going to be doing a night vision comparison video between these two brands. We've got Ixieex over here, which I've tried and tested before, and we have the Amazon #1 bestseller, Fvtga. Let's get right into it. Now right off the bat, product packaging side by side, the Ixieex has a larger box while Fvtga has a smaller one. Is that going to be foreshadowing anything to come? I don't know, but let's open up the boxes and find out. Now out of the box, both goggles side by side, we can see there is definitely a visual difference between these two as far as side, this one being a little smaller, this one being a little bit bigger here. Now they both come with instruction manuals and some different accessories. Okay, the difference between these two, however, this one uses a micro USB charge cord, where this one over here uses the USB-C. So if I had to give a point to one or the other, it's going to be to this one over here, USB-C becoming more of an industry standard, whereas a micro USB cord are becoming harder to find and kind of a nuisance to use. Now comparing the goggles and their build side by side here, at least on the top part here, we have our control panels, very standard and straightforward between both of them, on, off, photo, video mode, zoom in, zoom out, and also gives you control on the internal settings so you can set your different settings and resolutions, okay? However, on the front here, when we start to get to the optics, this is where the two start to make a big left turn or right turn from each other respectively. Now the #1 seller over here has a fixed focal length with digital zoom, and you need to manually focus the lens when you're looking at something. Comparatively, over here we have optical zoom, yes, and autofocus, and we're going to be seeing that in the test. Optical zoom, always better than digital zoom. On the bottom side, both of them feature a 1/4-20 mount, so if you wanted to put this onto a tripod, you could. Right here on the very bottom for the Ixieex is going to be the USB-C charge port, and a 32 gig micro SD card is included. Same thing over here for #1, except their port is on the side. Yes, and as we mentioned earlier, a micro USB port, and they have the same side 32 micro USB card. And then as far as the display screens are concerned, both of them at 3-inch screens. Now last but not least, before we get to sample footage, what's the build quality like? What do these things feel like? How do they weigh? What's the hand feel type? So for the #1 over here, it's smaller, it's lightweight, it's compact. It definitely fits in the hand easily. I don't know if I have the best grip on it, if I'm just gonna be freehanding it walking around, but it has a nice soft, smooth finish around it. Lightweight. Almost toy-like light, but not quite. But you know, if weight is a concern for you and you're looking to travel super light, then maybe this is the goggle for you. Over here, this one definitely has some weight to it, but it's not heavy, but it doesn't feel like a toy at all. It feels like what you might expect a goggle to feel like when you pull it out of the box. Finish around the outside, he's got this nice rubber grippy stuff on the outside, so if you're freehanding it and you're moving around left and right, back and forth, I feel like I got a good solid grip. It's got some nice little ridges that come up and over the side, so it is very ergonomic in the hand as far as a goggle is concerned. So take that as it may be. Let's get out to the footage and see what we got. All right, up first is Ixieex, and this is because it has that nice wide focal length, but I also want you to see the environment where we're going to be doing all of our testing. This is done at 8:45 p.m. It's not quite dark yet, but there is plenty of light that the sensor is picking up. And here is #1 from the exact same spot. Both cameras are side by side. Both are recording in tandem at the exact same time. It does not get any wider or zoom out any further. And you can notice that the image here is just a little bit darker, with the image sensitivity not nearly as sensitive as the Ixie. If we use the digital zoom to get as close as possible, super grainy with this low light. I mean, you can see something, but it's definitely not very crisp at all. Comparatively, if we zoom all the way in, it might not be as tight of a shot as the previous. However, it is very clear, very crisp, and this is just low light capability only. If we walk to the furthest distance and zoom all the way out, you can barely see her waving her arms. Zooming all the way in produces a blurry image. You can see something, but not really usable. Turning on the infrared definitely illuminates the area much better. You're able to see an object, but due to the digital zoom, it's still going to be grainy and blurry. Now this is the good stuff, people. 10 p.m. at night, pure darkness, and the Ixie can see still like it is daylight, giving a real nice low light image. Flashlights mandatory. On the other hand, with the #1, you can see where the low light capabilities are. Exact same shot as what you just saw. But all you can see is the person waving a flashlight. Using infrared wide angle produces a nice image with clear contrast. However, digital zoom, once again, very grainy, but you can still see the outline of whatever it is you might be trying to view. Ixieex, on the other hand, wide-angle infrared. This is pretty amazing, where you can still see the subject way off in the distance, a nice bright infrared beam, and then with the optical zoom, zooming all the way in, clear, crisp images. Working our way closer, wide angle, we can see the individual. I kind of wonder what would happen if they were wearing black only. And then if we zoom in once again, digital zoom, grainy. Working our way back to the front, wide angle infrared has a pretty solid image. However, digital zoom, once again, better, but still a little bit blurry. And then wrapping it up with a tight shot with an infrared from the Ixieex, you can clearly see what it is and even the surrounding environment. All right, everybody, that's a wrap on the field testing. You tell me, which one do you think performed the best overall for low light capabilities and for infrared? What about the ability to zoom in and get closer to your subject? How about image quality itself? For me, the clear winner is the Ixieex right here. Now, the number one thing that really put this to the forefront, optical zoom. I said it at the beginning and I'll say it here again at the end. Optical zoom will always dominate digital zoom. Digital zoom, right, when you're wide out, right, that's as good as the image quality is going to get. And as soon as you zoom in, you're getting degradation of that image. It's always going to look blurry. It's going to be grainy, especially in low light situations. This is rated at 4K. This is supposed to be 1080. I don't think the two words 4K and night vision should go together in a single sentence, because I'm spoiled, right? When I want 4K, I'm getting it from this camera right here. And with 4K quality image, you should be able to crop in over 200% without any image loss. And I don't know if night vision goggles are at that level yet or have the right image sensor capabilities, but quality goggle right over here, good image quality, low light capabilities dominated once again. The infrared is great. And then I didn't mention this or really highlight it so much in this video, but it does have autofocus. Yes, you can watch one of my other reviews if you want to see that highlighted a little bit more on this goggle alone by itself. Yes, but the autofocus feature is really nice. You zoom in, you set it, you forget it, you let it do its thing, and if you need to do some minor adjustments by zooming in or out and fine-tuning it for your own perfect vision, then you can do that as well. So at the end of the day, the choice is yours and yours alone, and when you're looking for a quality night vision goggle with well-rounded capabilities, you know what my choice is.